Do takes a second there. No worries, guys. Welcome into Money Shots. It is we have Stephen Che, or do we? Who do we have in? Who do we have in here today? Stephen Che.
You can call me Big Pussy today.
Just a big pussy.
Yep.
Okay, that works for me. I'm a big fan of vaginas. Nadu, how are you? Nadu, how are we feeling?
Well, I'm a big fan of pussies too.
As long as it's
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. We got two big matchups to talk about.
we do. We have we're coming down to the last draw. My brain is kind of dead right now. I need some more caffeine. We're coming down to the end of things here, and we got 2 games this weekend, and obviously we have Stephen Che here, who is the prop master extraordinaire, and of course we have Nadu, who is he's a select sharpshooter, if you will. Then you have me, who is Public Joe, as I like to comment or call it, and I just said comments. All right, so let's go ahead and start. Let's start with San Fran Eagles. Let's start with Nadu. I want to hear your take on this as a Philly guy. I actually grabbed the Eagles as soon as it came out. I believe my ticket's on 126 on the money line, so I'm very happy to have snagged that when I did. But what do you think about this game? How do you think it's going to play out? And give me a final score projection.
Well, I think we're all very obviously lucky to get these 2 matches, because I'm sure, as Steven knows and everybody knows, these are the 2 best groups in both conferences. And you have a game in Philadelphia where you have a young quarterback coming in who's been on a tear. There's not a lot of wiggle room between these 2 teams. But I think the main rudimentary point is the Eagles have Jalen Hurts, who's better than Brock Purdy, okay? The Eagles are fully healthy. A lot of people aren't aware that coming into this game, if Avonte Maddox plays, they're essentially at full health. That's very rare at this point in the NFL season. Look, at 1.5, I liked it. I think some of the sharp money's moved it up. Now, obviously, I am a fan. I'll be there. I'm excited to do that this Sunday. But you all know, I just think the Eagles are a better team. I think it's going to be a close game. As I said, there's not a lot of wiggle room. But the Eagles' defense is strong. I think getting to the quarterback is going to be of utmost importance. Dallas did that a little early on. I think the Eagles just have some of the things that Dallas doesn't have. And being at home, obviously 2 road games in a row, I think that catches up to the Niners. It'll be a close, low-scoring game. I'll go 24-21 Eagles.
All right, Che, you told me that you had an absolutely disgusting prop. Is it with this game or is it with the next one?
It's with this game, and it just moved. So I looked at it this morning, and I kind of locked it in. I didn't bet it because I was in New York, but I was gonna talk about it on the show today. It has moved, and it's Thursday afternoon, so between now and Sunday, lines can move a lot. This one moved a lot. So the prop was, and it certainly could move back. I don't put it past that. It could be something with injury reports. But if it comes back, Miles Sanders under 7.5 receiving yards is the play. He's been under this in 13 out of 18 games this season. He hasn't had a catch in the last 3 games. His snap count has gone down. He's playing about 40% of the snaps. This is one where you could conceivably give up a catch and still win. At 4.5 yards, which is what it just moved to, that's a monster change from 7.5. 37.5% change. I can't get on board with that. I don't know if he's going to catch a pass, but if he basically 8.5 was under 1.5 catches, which I like.
I've tried so hard to truly listen to you, but I was so distracted by your little cat lips, the little whiskers, and that was the most distracting but intelligent conversation I've had today. So basically, as I said, I'm on the Eagles money line. They just have seemed, like Nadu said, to be just the better team overall. And again, I know I don't want to sound like a talking head. When is the Brock Purdy? What is the ceiling here? And I don't think he played well last game by any means. I feel like he kind of, I don't want to say fell out last game, but I'm kind of waiting for him to truly have that game that's like, oh yeah, that's why he was third string on our roster. And this game definitely could be it, especially as Nadeau said, with a healthy Eagles defense.
He was the better of two bad quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, Dak was dog shit. So, I mean, like, if we're going to compare those two, that game, I mean, yeah, he played better than Dak, but he wasn't – I don't think he played as well as he had been playing up until that Dallas game.
And also, I want to give Steven credit. I mean, Steven really was – and I probably should have known it as a fan, but Steven put on the Boston Scott prop last week, which, you know, came to fruition yet again. I mean – Steven's very good with props. We got to give him credit on that. And look, the Miles Sanders one, he hasn't gotten over 10 yards receiving since I think week 14. So
yeah, I'll give credit where credit's due. That was Jack Mack and the Barstool Social guys. They certainly put me onto that one. But yeah, that one hit, which is certainly nice. I like one more prop this game. It's pretty heavily juiced. It's minus 155 in the Barstool Sportsbook. It's George Kittle over 3.5 catches. Brock Purdy started 7 games in 6 games. In 6 of those 7 games, George Kittle's had 4 or more catches. I really like him against the Eagles over 3.5 catches.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I feel like that is your veteran bailout guy. As Purdy, you know, being young, he needs somebody that he can trust. And George Kittle looked like a fucking freak last game. I mean, like, just not just the whole tongue out, big eyes at the end of the game, but you know, just in general during the game while he was playing, looked like an absolute. Don't do that, Steven. Yeah, like it's like you look like you're about to drink some water, like a little cat. But yeah, so that's pretty much it on that game. Do you have any more? Again, they do as the Philly guy. Do you have any more insight? Do you have any more?
Well, I think he really changed the tenor of that game with that miraculous one-handed catch that he had. I mean, that was the real big play of that football game. I think all in all, I mean, the Eagles, you know, tea leaves wise, I mean, they'll take some of the stuff that some of the Niners are saying. But as I said, I think really it's just about full health. I mean, they're going to be good to go. And look, having Lane Johnson back, that offense is just totally different with Lane Johnson in versus out on that side. You know, getting Avonte Maddox back, he's a great slot corner. So all in all, I just think, to me, if you're going to give it a flip game, and remember Megan as well, and Steven knows this, when you have a game early in the week, let's say Tuesday and Wednesday, where the money is moving the line, that is not public money moving that. That is sharp people that are coming in early betting it. This one moved quickly from 1.5 to 2. It's now up to 2.5. I'll be interested in seeing if it hits 3. That's a big, obviously, number in football. But I think this is going to be a sharp public split. I think the public will be on the 49ers. I think the sharps will be on the Eagles. I really believe that.
From what I looked at, it seemed like there was a lot of money, both sides on the Eagles, but the handle.
But early money
changed. Yeah.
You know, Monday, Tuesday.
All right, let's move on to the game that I'm most excited about, which is the Chiefs and the Bengals. Everyone already probably knows my take on this game. I'm taking the Bengals. I'm taking them on the money line, just like I took the Eagles. I am a Joe Burrow girl through and through. I truly believe that this team is something special. They had it last year. They just couldn't get over the final hump. And I think this year is the year that they do overcome that adversity and get over that final hump. The Bengals have had a ton of success against the Chiefs. You know, Andy Reid, as good of a coach as he is, you know, they, for whatever reason, isn't great against the Bengals. Che, you were at Pick Central when we were doing our coaches' rankings. If Zach Taylor, you know, wins this game and if they win it well, I feel like he has to move up in your rankings, you know, just a tad bit. I love this Bengals team. I know that, you know, the Chiefs front is going to be a little bit more of something to handle than the Bills were, but I can't not back this Bengals team. Let's talk with Nadeau and see what you like too.
Yeah, I agree with you. I grabbed 1.5 here with Cincinnati. You know, that's not necessarily there anymore, but I felt like if I could get them as a dog, I was interested. Now, it does concern and pain me to bet the Chiefs or against the Chiefs. I like Mahomes. It's hard in a coin flip game to go into Arrowhead and win, but the recent success of the Bengals, particularly against this team, has been evident. And I know Steven last week, while it's only a small favorite, they have struggled as a favorite. They've also very much struggled against this team, losing 3 in a row. I'll tell you, though, I think the strongest play is probably over the total. I know the weather's not, you know, it's cold, but no precipitation, limited wind. You know, the last 5 games between these three between these two have gotten into the 50s. Now, the last three are the ones most relevant, and all have went over this current number. You have two great offenses, one defense that I don't trust whatsoever. I think this is at worst 27-24. I'm going to lean over 47.5. I think that's a pretty good play as well. But I agree. Bengals as a dog, they've just been money. They're great on the road. I picked them before the season, Megan, to win the Super Bowl, and I'm going to keep rocking with them.
I also had that bet as well. I again, Kelly called me a homer. And, it was, I'm not going to lie, I played into my homer hand there. But, just remember, I was raised a Saints fan first until Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase changed my life. 2019 was a great year for me, just like 2005 was a great year for Stephen Che. But Che, give me some good props.
It was also a great year. 2002 season, 2003. In fact, 20 years ago today, the Buccaneers won their first Super Bowl, January 26, 2003.
Don't remind Eagles fans. We were
the last playoff game.
Rodney Barber,
yes, 26-10. So I like two props for this game, both on the Bengals side. Joe Burrow, if you can't tell. Joe Burrow, over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He's played the Chiefs 3 times. He's hit 2 passing touchdowns at least in each of those games. I just think he's hot. I think he's going to continue to shove it down Brandon Walker's throat and say a good playoff quarterback. The Chiefs defense is a defense that is susceptible to, very good offenses, as most defenses are. But Joe Burrow certainly seems to have their number. They're calling it Burrowhead Stadium because of the success there. Another number I like, which I feel like is a little bit low, Joe Mixon over 14.5 carries. Now, he's kind of been hit or miss on this season, but when it comes playoff time, I think he's a guy that you feed, especially in a game like this where you're trying to play keep away from Patrick Mahomes, man. Zach Taylor's no dummy. If the Chiefs have the ball, they are likely going to score. So if you look at the playoff game that these two teams played last year, I think that's a good indicator for what we're going to see this Sunday. It was a 27-24 game. Joe Mixon had 20 carries in that game. Joe Mixon also
was a beast. He was just falling for yards.
Yeah, Joe Mixon had 20 carries last week as well. So, or Joe Mixon had 21 carries last year. Sorry. But yeah, I think Joe Mixon over 14.5 carries is a steal.
Yeah, I'm glad we're all on the same page as far as the Bengals go because, everyone's saying, it's just so loud, Narrowhead, this and that. There's so many different, variances within this game. But I feel like I can counter almost every single one of them. I mean, just like the loud thing. Joe Burrow played in Tiger Stadium. He knows what loud is. I understand that it's, a little bit larger, but I'm sure that loudness can get real quiet real quick if there's a nice long pass to Jamar Chase and there's a little gritty done in the end zone, and then all of a sudden all those fans just deflate.
Remember as well, and this bodes well for Stevens' Joe Burrow play as well as an over. I mean, both these teams are 7th and 8th in passing play percentage. They're both very good in the red zone as well. Interesting stat for 3 out of the 4 teams in the NFC and AFC title games. All 3 are in the top 5 in red zone scoring percentage. The only team that is not with a paltry 52% of the time scoring a touchdown is San Francisco in the red zone. So that could be a difference. I mean, all 3 out of the 4 teams are very good in the red zone. 1 isn't. But in this game, it's 2-12 for the over with all the passing and red zone success they have.
I was trying to look and see what Kelly had. I think she teased the Eagles she has Eagles minus 7.5, Bengals minus 7.5. No, she didn't tease them. And then she has a parlay. So maybe she's just doing an alternate spread there and she's moving the lines. So that's what Kelly's doing. She's not here, so I can't really speak for her. She's with her dad, and he had some surgery today. So everyone say some prayers for Kelly's dad and for Kelly. So we're thinking about you, Kelly. Anything else that y'all want to talk about within this game before we move on?
Well, I'm actually just curious from Steven, who painted you?
We have a lovely face painter named Melissa that we booked for these case races that we have tonight. We're taping it at 5 p.m., so in about an hour and 45 minutes. The cake race and the case race is the same thing tonight.
Case and cake, 2 things that I truly enjoy. Che, do you have any NBA plays?
Yeah, tonight, I don't know how to properly say this guy's name. It's spelled Ivica, but I believe it is Ivan Zubac for the Clippers. over 10.5 rebounds. He's been a little bit spotty this year, but he's playing the Spurs tonight. In 6 of his last 7 games against the Spurs, he's cleared this number. The Spurs just have big guys. They have Jakob Poeltl. They've got Zach Collins. So they play a center. The Clippers are going to have to play a center, which their only center really is Zubac. And he's feasted against them. So 10.5 is a good line. I put that out about an hour and a half ago on the Yak, and then it's on my Twitter now.
Nate, do you have any plays in the NBA tonight, or just in?
Yeah,
college?
one I was interested in, but it's hard to give it out now because I played it at 8. It's up to 9.5. I like Cleveland against Houston. Houston is just horrific. Cleveland has been great. This number's been bet up. 95% of the actual money is on Cleveland. So this is one where smart people are coming in and playing it. It probably will hit double digits by the end. But I think if you can get a decent number, 8.5 on Cleveland, I think there's probably some value there. Houston is just wretched, as we know.
Do we have any news on Donovan Mitchell? I know that he's questionable. He got hurt at the end of says as of now unlikely to play.
Well, I'm always and this is, I think, one of the reasons I'm skeptical to always give this stuff out, just because I don't always look at players. In fact, I didn't even know that. I think to me, it's all about the number and the price. I think maybe this could lend that maybe he's not going to play, but it's being bet up, so maybe he is. To me, I learned a long time ago that players in the NBA really, obviously they're important, but they don't mean a ton to me as far as betting them. Someone else will step up. 2 people will step up. I know it's hard to kind of understand that. And Steven's more of a prop guy, but I don't care much about that. I think it'll be fine either way.
I will give you 2 things in your favor. It is both Darius Garland and Isaac Okoro's birthday today.
Oh,
there you go. And that lends to stepping up. You have someone, or whether it's 2 players, come in and give you some same production. And maybe we'll get them for a little bit. Who knows?
All right. What are you playing in college basketball before we head out, Nadu?
Wow. So a very interesting card. I'm going to give you one kind of off the beaten path like I tried to. Oral Roberts. I'm going to lay 19 in conference, which is hard to do.
And I love Oral Roberts. I was just such a thick line. I didn't put it out. I played it.
Well, I'll tell you why you should. Now, I'm a big Oral fan in general. Now, tonight I might get it on both levels. We'll see. Oral, as far as myself, maybe a win here. That said, Oral Roberts has been completely dominant, Megan, in conference play and really hasn't lost. I mean, they've lost 1 game since November 22nd. That's 2 calendar months, and it was against a ranked team in New Mexico. Oral Roberts has ran roughshod over this conference. They are an elite offense. They're an elite defense. They're what South Dakota State used to be in this conference. They already beat Denver by 18 in Denver, and now you got a hobbled Denver coming in here who's not good on the road. And we're really just having to win by the same amount. I think Oral Roberts rolls tonight. I think this is like a 91-67 type of game. I think Oral Roberts rolls here.
Do you have any other plays that you want to give out before we head out? Is that your? But that would be like
that's one that I've already played. Michigan Purdue is a fascinating game. A couple of weeks ago, I was on Michigan State against Purdue in Michigan State. We were able to get a cover. I think you see a similar type of game tonight. I don't love Michigan, but I think they're a decent matchup against Purdue. Hunter Dickinson can really pull Zach Edey onto the perimeter. I think that could be a tough matchup for the big man, especially gets in foul trouble.
Battle of the bigs for sure.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And by the way, Purdue and Michigan, I mean, both top 20 in height in America. I like Michigan's defense as well. I think 5.5 is just too many, especially in Chrysler Center. I think we see a close game, if anything. Purdue probably escapes for the win, but I don't think it'll be easy.
See, I like Purdue too much to step in front of them there. I did take one of the baitier games, if you will. I like Michigan State minus a 2.5 at home against Iowa. Iowa has, a great offense, but I think that this Sparty team is just balanced on both sides, and you have the Izzo effect. I think that one minus 2.5 is a good price you're getting on the Sparties there. I'm also on Drexel minus a 3. UM Milwaukee plus 5.5, UL Lafayette minus the 5, Seattle plus 6, UCLA minus 4.5, and then Arizona State minus the 2.5. I wanted to ask you about that UCLA game before you leave, because I know a lot of people are on the other side. Did you play that game or look at it at all?
No, I haven't played it. Obviously, I've said before, I think you make the case UCLA is the best team in America. I know they just lost to Arizona, but
It should be a great bounce back here, right?
yeah, it really should be. And that's a tough game in Tucson. Arizona's starting to get going. I think with the rubber meets the road, UCLA will be right there in the national title contention. And yeah, I mean, again, 2 straight road games, but USC is not a team that I've been real high on. I think offensively, they're a little poor. I don't like their guard play. They turn the ball over a ton. That said, I've heard some rumblings coming in that some really smart people like the over in this game. I might have to get involved. But I didn't ultimately get there. I do like Arizona State, though. That's a good one. I really like that team.
Yeah, I like Arizona State as a team as well. Also, I've been playing this Drexel team a lot. And the Cajuns are on like a 6-game win streak right now, so hopefully they can keep it going. I like to give them shit because, they're only 15 minutes down the road, but everyone gives me shit here for being an LSU fan that lives in Lafayette. I guess I just should be a Raging Cajun fan, but it's a little bit more fun to root for the Tigers. All right, guys, anything else y'all want to get out before I know we try to buy a Trusted Data hat? Anything else?
I always appreciate you having me.
Tune into the Yak Case race tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 p.m. Central.
All right, tune into the Yak. Tune into Big Man on Basketball. Is that up next, or is that
4 o'clock? Yep, 4 o'clock.
All right, that's up next. That's where Nadu will be giving you just straight up locks.
We got plenty of games today to go over. A lot of mid-major content.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There's a lot of mid-majors that I was looking at today that I just couldn't pull the trigger on. It's just the lines were just a little too close, or too thick, kind of like that or Robert's line, but I still do like it. But thanks for coming on. I love you both. Enjoy your case race. I love the paint. And have a great day. I hope we cash all of our bets.
Thank you.